Hey guys, it's your boy Wolfie. Today we're going to be talking about team fights because apparently people don't know how to team fight. From what I've noticed from playing these games is that people have gotten really good at pressing buttons. They're really good at juking, they're really good at landing abilities, they're really good at landing auto attacks. They're way better than I am now. The problem is that most of these people have no idea why they do things or what to do. My theory, and this is just from a psychological standpoint, is the fact that I think that people remember when they had a really good game. They remember when they just completely dominated the game and they keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over. The problem is that the game changes based on who they're against and what's the situation with gold and XP. Just because that you dominated a game where you were 10,000 gold ahead and 5 levels above the entire enemy team and you were able to run them down all the way to the Phoenix, doesn't mean you're able to do that in the next game when you guys are even gold and even XP. You might have to change the way you play. Unfortunately, for some reason, the greater part of the player base hasn't learned this simple thing yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the basic jobs of every single role in a team fight, right? Cool. Luckily for me, mages and carries have the same role. They're kind of a tag team duo. Your dual lane partner and your mid lane player normally stay together and focus the same targets. Sometimes they get split up, but they still overall want to help each other. They have the main peel from each other, and the way they peel is by doing damage or whatever kind of CC they may have. Now, with the way that the game is set up is mages don't hit tanks really hard until the later portions of the game when they have their percentage pen online. And so Reaver and potentially Ethereal Staff also. But hunters seem to be able to get kin size really early, and that really penetrates tanks' defenses. It does really well. That also being said, normally the hunter cannot kill the solo lane on his own and requires some sort of help in damage. Also, we'll go into the other role after that, and it's also supposed to be helping them, and the other roles that can help them based on the situation. But long story short is the mage and the hunter should be focusing the same target as much as possible to eliminate people as fast as possible. What's normally going to happen is you're going to have a big, brolic, ugly solo laner running at you, trying to kill you and soak up all your damage. And if they don't kill you, they're going to take all your cooldowns and then run away with no HP back and teleport back into the fight and say, "Hi guys, I'm back." He's a pain. We hate solo laners. They smell. We know. All ape, no brain. We don't have to talk about it. It's fine. It's whatever. But that's what we do. We have to kill them. Not only are we going to have that, we're going to probably have a little snot-nosed brat called the Assassin blink out of nowhere or completely ignore the team fight and run around and try to come behind us and be like, "Hi guys, I'm here," and focus one of you down. It is really important that both of you guys turn around and kill that little pesky assassin that has 2 HP and a sledge, so now he has 4,000 HP. You're probably gonna have to focus one of those two down. Whatever one is easier to kill at the time, whether the solo lane has no HP or whether the assassin is full HP and has no defense items, you gotta kill one of those guys together, right? Do your best to survive as much as you can and put out as much damage. In the end of the day, if you are going to die 100% as a mage or a hunter, it is better to get as much damage as you can off before you die. Don't hold on to your ult, don't hold on to your abilities. If you know you're gonna die, just use them. Just put out as much damage as you can. Your job might be to blow your cooldowns and die. That is probably what you have to do to win a team fight. You might not have to survive. It just is what it is. It's how it works. Maybe the enemy team has just decided that it's your turn to die and you're gonna die. That's it. That's where it comes down to. Long story short, your job is to kill those people running at you. And your job is to peel for the other DPS with you. You're a tag team. Work together. You're gonna have the best results that way. Unless you're playing something like Morgan and you have the opportunity to jump into the back or you have a dive comp or whatever. But for the most part, these two roles focus the front line that are diving them. Guardians. Guardians have a really weird role, right? They kind of have to be the middleman. Guardians are, in my opinion, really easy because the enemy team isn't trying to stop you. The enemy team is trying to stop everybody else in the team, but you're trying to stop them. You're the saboteur. You're there to stop that assassin from being able to get onto your back line. You're there to stop that solo lane from being able to blink into your back line. You're there to stop their guardian from initiating. Or you might even there to also zone like the solo lane. And I will explain zoning once we get to the solo lane, so don't worry about this. We're going to talk about the main role for a guardian. The main role for a guardian is to be the big wall in between the enemy team and your DPS. That is your job. It is not to dive, it is not to do damage, it is to be that pain in the butt. You are to stop them from doing what they want to do. If it's running away, you stop them from running away. If it's diving your backline, you stop them from diving your backline. That's what a guardian does. You are to stop someone else. It is not for you to have some like secret plan. I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna rush them down. This is why people who play Kazembo always annoy me, because they don't realize that his ult is the best peel in the game. It's annoying as how, as a person who plays jungle a lot, it's one of those things. So in some games, you can be able to dive. In other games, you're literally sitting right next to your mage and your hunter, AFK for the whole team fight, just to make sure adapting doesn't flank on a Wheelix and kill your solo. We have tons of game footage showing that. It is really important. The general idea is CCing one time and your mage or hunter getting their kit off is going to do more damage than you sitting there attacking someone for 5 minutes straight. It's just the truth. Keep your DPS alive and you will get more stuff done. That is your main job. If I paid you to be a babysitter and I come back home and both the kids are dead, you did a bad job as a babysitter. That's what you are as a guardian. You're a babysitter. It is what it is, right? So before you get all excited and happy, remember your main goal. You, enemy team, your team safely behind you. That's the job, all right? Cool. Assassins. Assassins are weird. So while assassins have enough damage to one-shot someone, their job is to go behind and kill somebody as fast as they possibly can. Normally the biggest threat on the team or the character that the solo lane can't catch up to. Until they don't have enough damage to one-shot someone fast enough or they die too fast. In a lot of situations, and I've noticed this, especially as a jungler, sometimes you just can't dive. Sometimes you diving is going to get you killed. In that situation, you can backstep, you can just come back and just play as a secondary support. Or play as a supporting role for your solo lane. Maybe you're playing Thor, but you can't really dive into the back line, but you see your solo lane going in, throw him a wall. Try to help him out. You don't have to ult on the Thoth every 2 seconds. You can literally just play off your solo lane, or you can play off your support. You have the flexibility to choose who's doing the right option, which is a lot of people like to play junglers because there's so many options for them to do. They can play on the back line, they can play on the front line, they can play in the middle, they can split push. They have so much leeway to do what they want. Stop tunnel visioning and chasing people and diving to the back line and getting one shot. Understand that if there's a Mercury and he keeps ulting your backline and two-shotting your mage, maybe you should sit back as Humbats, wait for him to ult in, and then drop your ult and protect your mage. That might be the best play. You never know. Maybe ulting that front line like the Cucullin or in the support so they don't blink in and kill your backline is probably the best play. You do not always have to hit the squishy. Your best play might just be assisting the backline with CC. I know it's contradictory to what you've been doing the entire game and what you've done in games that you've dominated and carried, but you might have to flip that switch to understand that you can no longer do your job because their team comp prevents it, or maybe they're just good enough players and they prevent it. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm trash at the game now. I'm old. My reactions are terrible. Sometimes I can't even beat Sobek Pluck. The only reason I made it to Masters is because I know how to win the game. I know the steps needed to be taken to win the game. I understand that. So I'm winning purely off of knowledge. That's it. I'm basically trying to say anyone can do it. You just gotta learn how to play. And those who are mechanically gifted that learn the actual ways to win the game, is disgusting, because then they just win all the time. They're filthy. Like, I don't know how to explain it. They're too good. I don't even want to think about it. It makes me depressed. Now, the biggest role in this situation, the biggest culprit next to Guardians and supports, is solo lanes. Solo lanes seem to have this idea that zoning means pushing the enemy team out of the team fight. That's not what zoning means. Your job in zoning is to make sure that the enemy isn't free casting to get damage off for CC for their front line. Basically, it's to make sure that they can't follow up with the front line. It's not to dive them to their Phoenix. It's to put enough pressure where the hunter is forced to attack you. It's to put enough pressure to where the mage is forced to put cooldowns into you and not put cooldowns into the enemy team. You can still do this while staying relatively close to your team. The fact of the matter is that when you zone an enemy too far, you're also zoning your team from killing them. It only takes one or two abilities from mage to kill a hunter or to kill a carry or to kill a mage. If they're too far away, we can't do that. Your job is to zone them out so they can't free cast, but you have to stay relatively close to your team or you're just going to get kited and killed. I see this every time, and the reason why you see this is because when the solo lane is doing well, he can literally dive into the next game mode. You be playing Conquest and all of a sudden a solo lane comes into your arena game and punches you out. Like, what the hell? Where the hell the 6 enemy team may come from? That's how solo lane feels when you're ahead. But once you're in an even game, they can melt you. And it's not your job to dive too far. You also have to pay attention to where your team is. Make sure that they can follow up with your initiation or whatever. Sometimes as a solo lane, it's a better thing to just initiate on the back line, make them use their escapes, make them use their cooldowns, and now that they ran away from you and they're trying to kite you, you run away. Run back to your team. Go back and help them with the front line that's diving. They now have to walk slow as hell to hit anyone on your team. You effectively zoned them by forcing them to pop their escapes. You don't have to chase them further. Turn around, help your team. All of a sudden, that little bit of damage you do might be the difference between killing the jungle or their solo before they kill your backline. You never know. That's your job as a solo lane. Stop thinking it's your job to dive as far as you can. That's not how it works. And if you scare someone out of a team fight and they have no HP, unless you can instantly kill that person, the best thing for you to do is just go back to team fight. You have effectively killed that person because they have to back. So you now have a 4v5. Take that 4v5 and win. Stop chasing. This goes for everybody, but I can't point it out enough. For those who don't understand, we're going to go over the certain terms. Zoning. Zoning is basically making it so the enemy team can't freely cast on your backline, on your DPS basically. Zoning is basically making yourself the focus so they can't focus the people who they want to hit. That's what you're doing as zoning. It's not pushing them out of the fight. It's making sure they can't do things that they want to do. That's all it is. That's what zoning is. 2, we're going to talk about peel. Peel is something that a lot of people don't understand. Peel is basically making room for your team. It's think of your team as the orange and the enemy team as the skin. You're peeling the skin off your back line, basically. That sounds really nasty. You're saving your back line. You're peeling them off. That's what you're basically trying to do. So when someone asks for peel, it's saying, hey, someone's rushing me down. I'm having a hard time. I need help. And that's what you're supposed to do. Drop a CC, do some extra damage, whatever it may be. That's what peel is. Also, for the love of God, can I just say this one thing? Stop being scared to focus tanks. Focusing tanks is fine if you can kill them fast. But the general consensus is don't pop all of your ults and cooldowns on a tank. It is okay for them to CC a tank, you throw all your regular abilities out and they have to run out. That's fine. Don't drop all your ults on it. That's where people mess up on. That's the biggest issue. The issue is when Sobek flicks the Ganesh into the team, and all of a sudden, Scylla ult, Hunbat's ult, Solo ult, everyone's ult just went on the tank, and the tank got out anyway. It's okay to just drop your regular abilities. Just put some damage out. You don't have to ult them. You can take your time. No reason to rush. Now, if you caught a squishy and you could one-shot them, even then, you probably don't want to pop all your cooldowns, but that's okay. That's the general idea. That's the general rule. That's it. Oh, also, rules to live by for team fighting. For anyone who's wondering, the #1 golden rule: if an enemy overextends, just kill him. The response isn't, oh, this person's overextended, my turn to overextend. No, stop letting people run past you in team fights because you want to hit a certain person. I can't tell you how many times both solo lanes have just been like, hi, what's up, bye. And they just both attack the back line. And it's just like, both back lines are like they just gave each other a high five and walked by each other. It's one of the most annoying things I've ever seen in my life. Stop doing that. Hit that person. That's your enemy. That's not your boy. That's all I'm saying. Don't overextend in response of someone overextending. If someone overextends, kill them. That's it. That's the biggest thing I can tell you that'll win you more rank games than anything else. All right, now we already had a siege guide, and this should answer those questions for those. If you want to go look at that video over there, by all means do it. It's a really good video. And if you guys stood here that long and listened to my rant, thank you very much. It was fun to do. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, smash the like button, drop a comment. Tell me if it helped you. Tell me if I missed anything. Let me know. I got no problem admitting I was wrong. Thank you guys very much. If you guys would like a more live response, feel free to stop by my stream. I stream between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. on Twitch, 6 days a week. And if you don't want to ask me there, feel free to @ me on Twitter or even join the Discord. Doesn't really matter to me. I answer everything everywhere. Thank you guys very much. You guys have been awesome. Deuces, friends.